January has been the longest year ever, but we made it. It's the last day of January 2025. So I have some amazing questions from you all in my Patreon community to answer. And if you are not in my Patreon community, come on inside, patreon.com/lovey. You get the best content that I create. So let me get into it. All right. First question. I would love to hear about how often you're engaging with the news and where you get your news from. I know it's important to balance staying informed versus doom scrolling, but I would love to hear what your routine for consuming news looks like day to day. I'm trying to stay grounded. I'm trying to stay informed, but not be overwhelmed. So I am getting my news, honestly, social media. And I'm not saying I am finding out what is happening purely on social media, but in scrolling some of my timeline, I will find articles that I need to read. I will find what is actually happening in the world, then I can dig in and then find out more information about that thing. I don't have notifications of news items coming to my phone. I don't have notifications coming to my email. I don't subscribe to newsletters of news items. Frankly, I am finding out what is happening in the world by what people on my platform, my algorithm, the people who I follow, which are curated to be people who have sense and who are plugged into the world, are saying. And then from there, I go deeper to find out what I need to know in terms of going to reputable sources like the BBC, Guardian, sometimes NPR. CNN is given, they can't be fully trusted lately. But yeah, BBC and Guardian for me are the ones I go to the most. So somebody else is asking, I just saw an excellent post from you about holding firm to your value as a speaker. And I'm curious about how you've determined what that value should be from when you started and now. When I started speaking, my fee was probably $1,000. Now my fee is mid to upper five figures. It started building over time. When my book hit the Times list in 2016, the day of, my fee at that point was $7,500. When I called my agent and said, hey, I am now a New York Times bestselling author, he said, we just doubled your fee. You're at $15,000 officially starting now. So as more things are added to my credentials, as more experience is happening, we've increased my fee more and more and more. So I've been represented by an agent since 2014, and my agent knows what the market is doing. They know what other people in my industry are charging with my experience level, credential level, and we charge the same, sometimes more. Additional question. Are there business resources you're reviewing to look at comparable speakers to set your rates? I'm not reviewing that. My agents are doing that. And honestly, I'm also having conversations. This is why we got to talk numbers with people we are in community and trust. So other speakers who are in my industry, I have conversations with them. How much are you charging now? Oh, great. I need to increase my fee. Or, oh, great. We're charging the same. Knowing what to charge as a speaker is not a science, it's an art. And there's no one number that I can give you to charge because it always depends on industry experience, who it is, your brand prestige. So it is one of those, it's invariable. I can't give you a number to charge. It also depends on what level you're at. There's no like one resource that's like, here's where speakers need to look to find a number of what to charge. Honestly, keep raising your rates until people say no, or until people go, that's way out of our budget. And you start recognizing that it's constantly out of their budget, then see if that level is too high and then recalibrate. You got to be flexible. So this other question, mine is related to balance and openness while protecting my peace. I'm naturally a person who likes to share what I know, how I experience the world, what inspires me, and openly share my values. However, as a Black woman, especially in these times, it feels dangerous to remain open. It is very easy for someone filled with malice to find out private things about us online or even attack our businesses with cyber attacks and scams. What advice can you give me about finding a balance? Remain open in the right spaces to the right people. You cannot give everybody or everything the same exact access. Some people have not earned that access. Some people can't be trusted with your openness. So you need to kind of fine tune your discernment and know what spaces you should actually be open in and to who should you be open to. Do not close that beautiful part of yourself that's kind, that's open, just because a few people might have tried to cheat you or that you might have had an experience that tempted you to shut down. Remember that it's all about who you're giving that openness and access to. For me, I'm very much an open person too, as you all see. But I am open with strong boundaries. One, I am also open to very specific people. And even the openness that I do online is the things that I don't mind everybody knowing. If I don't want everybody to know, usually I don't share it. Privacy is an illusion in this real world, but find the balance by just knowing who and what to be open to. Somebody's asking, with the Book Academy, newsletters, and pending books, how do you structure your writing process in your daily routine? Yeah, my life is really busy, but what I do is I block time on my calendar, usually 2 hours when I'm in writing mode to get work done. And in those 2 hours, I'm not checking email. I'm not worrying about what's happening in the world. My job in those 2 hours is to just write. And that is how I've written all my books. And I am officially in writing mode again because my next manuscript is due in the next 5 to 6 months. So I'm going to get back to the blocking the time on my calendar. Okay, someone is asking, how do you unwind? You're always talking about your path for work. What does your path look like for fun? I love that. I unwind by being in my house on my couch. I will have a friend over for a couch date, or I will go out and get a massage or a facial. I'll read a book. I don't need a lot to have fun. Like, I don't have to be outside for fun. Sometimes I color. I have coloring books. Sometimes I'll do puzzles. Just spending good time either with myself or people I love, for me, is fun. That's how I unwind. That is my self-care. Sometimes I'll have a dance party in the house with myself. Yeah. I think daily life, I try to infuse what feels joyful, and that's fun to me. So, yeah, self care, soul care, community care, loving on my people, being loved on, all of that is how I unwind. Another question. I am seeking advice for how to shift into an abundance mindset. I'm currently working at an okay paying but very toxic, unsafe office and haven't been able to find work elsewhere. I feel discouraged and low energy, which I know keeps me trapped in the cycle. I want to get to a place where I can pay my bills and take care of myself so that I can have space and internal resources to share with my community. I feel really stuck. Was or is there something specific that helped you? This might seem too simple, but I'm going to say it anyway because it is the truth. I started believing that I did not always have to struggle to win. I just started being like, you know what? What if I don't have to always be facing resistance to win? I would write down affirmations for myself. I would write down visions for myself. And I would simply listen to it over and over again. I'd say it over and over again. I have post-it notes on my computer, even now, of the things that I want to absorb into my mind and change in my belief system. I would recommend you use the affirmations, abundance is my birthright. Abundance is my birthright. I don't have to chase what I want. It will find me. Even writing that down, putting that on a post-it note, putting it on your computer, reading it at nighttime, reading it when you wake up, can help shift something. Because if you say it enough, your brain starts going, okay, maybe it's possible. I hear you on the stuckness. And I really do think half of the journey is believing that we don't have to be stuck in the places that don't fill us with joy. So that's my biggest advice for you. Affirmations. Abundance is my birthright. I have abundance all around me. Nothing that I need is scarce. I am exactly where I need to be. Whatever I want wants me. I literally have 7 post-it notes on my computer right now. So it's helpful to do that and just keep speaking life into yourself, recognizing that everything is temporary, even the stuckness, even the job that feels toxic, and move with the belief that you are protected and that you are held. And then final question. I'm curious, when you made your biggest leaps in your career, what was the ultimate voice factor person that confirmed for you that you were heading in the right direction? That's a good question. One of the biggest leaps that I've made in my career happened when I did my TED Talk in 2017. A TED Talk that I had said no to twice before because I didn't think I was ready. And I was about to say no a third time. And I called one of my friends, one of my best friends, Unique. And Unique was like, what are you afraid of? And I was like, everybody else has already had months to prepare. And Ted is asking me to do this 3 weeks before. And that sounds crazy. And she said to me, everybody ain't you. You are prepared for this moment. You've been prepared for this moment. Get off my phone and go write your talk. And I think about her as that voice of reason in that moment that led me to do this thing that changed my life. My TED Talk now has almost 10 million views, and it's changed so many other people's lives because I've gotten the notes about it. So the times when we are supposed to take big leaps, the voice could be a post you see on social media telling you, do that thing that scares you. It might be a book you read like mine, Professional Troublemaker, The Fear Fighter Manual. It might be a person speaking in your ear that is actually God's voice that you didn't hear before. So recognize that the glimmers, the little signs that you are supposed to be moving forward, they might not always feel as obvious as a friend saying, hey, you got this, do the thing. Sometimes it's you get an email from your boss saying, hey, I'm so glad you led that meeting in such a great way. I want to see you do it more. So recognize the big signs and the small, and do not doubt the movement forward. Do you feel good about the movement? How is your spirit feeling about it? How's your body feeling about it? If you're afraid, don't think the fear is a sign that you're not supposed to be doing it. The fear might just be a sign that you're going into a new territory. And oftentimes that's scary. And that actually often means keep going. So I hope that helps. And thank y'all for these great questions. If you are not a part of my Patreon yet and you're watching this video on my YouTube, come on inside, patreon.com/Lovey. We do work that makes life and work better. My name is Lovey Ajayi Jones, and I am a 4-time New York Times bestselling author, speaker, and book coach, founder of the Book Academy, God's Child, wife, sister, daughter, and truth teller. So see y'all.